Yeah. You know what it is. Another episode of the Miller Experience. I just want to thank you guys for liking and subscribing to the show. We're currently at 1,155 subscribers, guys. So keep liking, keep commenting, and keep showing love. You know, we appreciate everything, guys. I just want to welcome back to another powerful episode of the Miller Experience, where we have real conversation, meet real people, make real moves. Today, we're honored to be joined by a true force in entertainment world. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Man, hold on. Start over. Today we got something special lined up, guys. Joining me is a man with decades of wisdom in law enforcement, which he'll be popping up later on today. Frontline retired Salt Lake City police officer Scott Curley Williams. His experience, perspective, and comment to serve bring a powerful voice to today's discussion. Also with us is my brother, my co-star from the Black Shield podcast, who's coming out this fall on Iron Beats Network, an active officer major with the Atlanta Police Department, Rashid the Light Lightford. He's not just shining light on the truth, he's living in it every day on the streets of the ATL. This is just an interview. It's just not just an interview, it's a necessary conversation. Let's get into it, guys. We're here to save lives. We're not here to take sides. Let's go. What's up? What we got, Sheed? What we got, Vic? What we got, Craig? What's up, fellas?
I'm ready.
Hey, welcome, Steve. Welcome.
Just really a correction. I'm a police officer in the Metro Atlanta area, so nobody get on there and think I'm faking and funk. So not Atlanta PD, but the Atlanta Metro area.
My bad, big dog.
It's all good. It's all good.
My bad, big dog. I got you. My fault.
Yeah, it's all good.
So we waiting on another guy, Curly. He's a retired. Huh?
Now, what's up, man? That's not a fake.
He's a retired Salt Lake City police officer. He'll be coming on later on. You got a fake uniform on? I guess.
Yeah, that ain't a fake uniform.
Hey, so Vic, what we got today, man?
Like I say, when he came on, I started to get up and run.
Don't do that.
He said, "Don't do that."
Yeah,
that's our problem. That's our problem. We want to run.
Listen. Don't run. Hey,
listen.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. It's been a whole summer. We haven't been together in a while, but it was good to see you guys. Welcome back to the show and welcome, Rashad. So we're gonna respond to an incident that happened over the summer. The William McNeil incident, his interaction with the police. Just to kind of catch us up, I'm going to show you two videos. I'm going to show you one video from the body cam and another one from within McNeil's car. So just kind of refresh our memory. Second. So I can get the right one here.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that? I have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over? Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
It's only 35. I'm fucking the dog driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No,
step out of the vehicle. 25 seconds. For the 94, the driver just slammed the door and locked it.
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hand.
Here.
33 at 1621 hours.
I'm here. What's your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. Get over here. No. Get over here.
Put your hands behind your back. Resist. Hands behind your back.
What's wrong with you? What you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back. I was going
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
What I'm doing, bro? What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No. Yes, bro. Yes. No reason, bro.
Hey, Vic, it's not showing. Oh, you done?
Yeah. I just took it off. Did y'all?
Hey, before we get started, like in my intro, we got retired Salt Lake City police officer Scott Curley Williams. What's up, Curl? How you doing, brother?
Oh, sorry.
Really clear?
He looked like he muted.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He just went out.
He's off.
Yeah, he just went out. I guess coming back in. All right. Here's
He come back in.
Yeah, here's from within McNeil's car. His I guess his video cam. This is
when he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Yeah. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor? Huh? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hand.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir? What is your reason?
All right, so there are two. All right, so 2 videos for you, so you guys can discuss and get kind of the response here. I guess
I'll let you kick it off.
What's your response here?
Who you talking to? I'm saying who you were saying. I'm sorry. I clicked out for a second.
I'm sorry, Rashid. I'll let you kick it off. What's your thoughts on this situation here, man? Do you think, obviously, the officer? Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, let me say, my comments and my thoughts and opinion does not represent my department or any municipality or anything like that. So let's get that clarified for legal purposes. Any statements that I make are going to be from my personal training, knowledge, and experience in this business. First of all, as a black man, we got to stop this, man. We got to stop. I don't know why people think call supervisor stops to stop. You're like, no, they don't stop nothing. If you were being stopped, and the officer clearly told him why he was being stopped, he acknowledged he knew why he was being stopped to whoever he was talking to while he was on his cell phone video. So he knew why he was being stopped, but he chose to be uncooperative. Now, what I will say, that initial strike after they broke the window and they stuck in his face, I can't condone that. We are allowed to get strikes for compliance, but I don't condone that one. There was another strike given to him, and it looks like in his neck area when they pulled him out of the vehicle. Looking at that, I would say if it was one of my officers, I would give that one a pass because they tell him to get out the car and he's still screaming no, no, no. And they tell him to get on the ground, he's screaming no, 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 and they have to force him to the ground. So you are allowed to give strikes for compliance. All in all, good arrest minus that first punch. I don't think I would condone that first punch. That was a cheap shot to me. I know I looked at the interview that the police chief put out there. I don't know if it's the sheriff or police chief. He put out there and said there's no cheap shots, but that was a cheap shot. If he, only way that would have been acceptable to me is if you're telling him to get out, he's gripping the steering wheel or he's gripping something in the vehicle, he's not showing his hands. And then, if you want to give him a strike for compliance at that point, I would go for it. But for the simple fact he's just sitting there, he's already resisting, he's not compliant, so he's already being charged. But that's the only issue I have with that. But everything else, man, I think they got him under control pretty reasonably. The use of force seemed to be pretty reasonable, unless it's something else that I'm not seeing. But from what I can see, I don't have a problem with it. We just, as black men, I have grandkids and kids, and I tell them all the time, don't have court on the side of the road, man. Deal with that. Get your ticket and deal with it later. You know what I'm saying? We can deal with that in court if you're being mistreated or you feel that you're being wrong. But then he has a question he has to do, show me the law. Listen, we ain't no lawyers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to show you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You need to educate yourself because you're smart enough to say, I don't need my license. Then you should know the damn law. You know what I mean? But evidently you didn't. So unfortunately, he put himself in a bad situation and it could have ended up a lot worse depending on what copy he got on that day.
Yeah, I just got a quick question on that on the light situation. You have people who cars don't have automatic light, and I can tell you that there are people driving the roads right now that don't know the law as it relates to lights, as inclement weather. So for someone to be stopped for that, I can see them questioning it, but as you said, you can question that in court.
Right.
Yeah, you question that in court.
Yeah. And most times, in most states, it is required that you have lights in the inclement weather. I mean, it is required.
Yeah.
But
so I'll say this:
go ahead.
Florida law. I mean, I can show it if you want me to, but the
Go ahead.
Florida statute says you have to have your lights on during rain, smoke, or fog.
Yeah.
And that statute titled 216, chapter 316, I think.
But check this out, Vic. Check this out. That's just common sense. And in the end of the day, that's just common sense. If you're in inclement weather and you're driving, why would you not have your lights on, whether you know or not?
Okay, so most
if you know your lights don't automatically come on, go ahead.
You have some people who saw the video and said, but it didn't look like inclement weather. It looked like it rained, but it stopped. So where was the inclement weather after that? You understand what I'm saying? So
overcast. Overcast.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same thing about inclement weather, but I had a similar situation years ago when I was in college. There was a power outage in the area on campus, and it was cloudy. I was driving, didn't have my lights on. The cop pulled me over, and he was very professional. And he just said, "Sir, the lights are out here. I know not raining anything, but you should have your lights on." He actually looked at my license registration. I gave it to him. He sent me on my way. It was a very perfect. I mean, but and I'm glad I didn't get a ticket. At some point he said, "I'm not going to give you a ticket," which I was very happy about. But it also makes me wonder if I had a different attitude, would that encounter going differently?
That's why I'm like,
what the? I could have turned that into a "Sir, please step out of the car." And that's my thing here. Williams, his energy probably changed that. We don't even know if the officer was even intending on giving him a ticket.
And that's right.
You just told him just keep your headlights on. And
and unfortunately, we never know that he was or wasn't. But he didn't give an opportunity to do that. But let's put the lights out. Don't worry about the lights. He also said he put him on for no seatbelt. So if you want to throw the lights out, no problem. Well, he still got a reason, no seatbelt. And one thing he did that kind of made the officer nervous in the beginning because he threw the door open. He opened the door. His window didn't work, but the officer don't know that. And that's what I was asking, why are you opening your door like that? Because in our field, you open the door, one, you can either shoot or run.
Right.
And the officer, go ahead.
And then he closed the door. And those windows are tinted. You can't see. I mean,
And when he had to do it, his right hand was not visible.
And you couldn't see his
There's
hand.
so many things. But why was so many cops on the scene for that traffic stop?
Yeah, because he called for. You heard him get on the radio when the guy asked for a supervisor. You heard him get on the radio and say whatever. I'm not sure what his codes were, but he said, "I got a non-compliant driver." So at that point, anybody hears that, they're coming.
At that point, right.
Now, also, I'm gonna tell you this. And it could have been a whisper stop. Whisper stops are stops where your DEA or your narcotics agency are monitoring a certain area, and they see a person leave that area that they want to identify and want to get in their vehicle. And then they may say, "Hey, find probable cause to stop that vehicle." So it might be a cheap probable cause like a no plate light, no tail light, something the tint is too dark. That's reason they get in the vehicle to identify that subject who's in that vehicle for purposes of investigation on whatever else they're looking at. So that could also have been a reason. I don't know, but I've seen that happen. And it might be people think it's a petty stop, but it's for a reason. It's investigative purposes for another case. And you never know. It could have been that because he did have marijuana in his possession. I believe his license was suspended as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think he had marijuana and a knife that they said he didn't go for, but it was later found in the car when they searched the car. I think his car was like messy, he had like trash and stuff, all that stuff.
So he knew his license was suspended. He knew he had the weed. He knew his license was suspended. He was trying to prolong that stop to figure out what he was going to do next, and hopefully he was screaming out enough that somebody would say, "Man, we're tired of it. Just go ahead." That's what he thought was going to happen.
Okay, the question. Let's say he's smart and listened to the command, got out of the car, and they said, "All right, we want to search your car," and he said no. Where do we go from there?
You got to have probable cause to search the vehicle. So if you don't see anything, and the three exceptions to your probable cause or search warrant is search incident to arrest, which means you're already under arrest. A plain view doctrine, which means you can see it without looking for anything, and then of course consent. So if the officers smell, like in Georgia, if we smell marijuana, that gives us probable cause to enter your vehicle. We don't need your permission.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
We need people to listen to that. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Because you have so many people driving, and you can drive. I can drive behind someone, and their windows open, and you can smell it.
Yeah. Right. You can smell people drinking. You can smell alcohol through the exhaust. You can smell marijuana through the exhaust. I made a couple of cases, more than a few cases where I followed a vehicle, smelled marijuana, but I was able to articulate that it came from that vehicle because I didn't smell it prior to the vehicle coming on scene. I went behind a few other vehicles, didn't smell it. And I in Georgia, of course, in most states, you DUI if you're under the influence of marijuana while you're driving, you're actually DUI. So my articulation was, hey, I feared this person was under the influence of drugs while he was driving his vehicle. I was able to make a stop and subsequently make a case because of that. So folks think marijuana is legal in a lot of states, but it's not legal to drive while you're smoking,
Right. But understand, guys, like you're saying, if you comply and you get out and there's no reason to search the vehicle, meaning your 3 exceptions to search the vehicle,
right,
then you're in the right. You can obviously say, no, I don't want you to search the vehicle.
Right.
But in saying that, and I'm talking to cops here, in saying that, police officers, I should correct myself, in saying that, does that give you guys pause? Does that perk your ears up? Does it give it a little hair rising on your neck when someone says, no, you're not going to search my vehicle?
Me personally, no, because if I get pulled over, I'm not letting you search my vehicle. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the inconvenience of being taken out of my vehicle. You don't need to see what's in my vehicle. I don't want you in my vehicle. I don't know what spirit you got on you. I don't know what you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want you in my vehicle. So I don't necessarily get heightened sense because you say no, But the thing is, they have to be down. Just keep it simple. They have to articulate why they want to search your vehicle. Because, like I said, in some cases, depending on which states, they may have different laws. So whatever state you live in, you need to be abreast of your laws. Here in Georgia, those are the 3 exceptions.
Be aware, yeah.
If you don't have those exceptions, I can't search. Now, if I'm searching, I can search the vehicle for inventory. If I'm going to tow the vehicle, his license was suspended. So me, with my knowledge, training, experience, I know I'm going to lock him up for his license being suspended. I can search the vehicles. I'm going to tow it. So I'll do what you call a tow inventory. And I'm looking for making sure that he doesn't have anything valuable that needs to be taken with him or documented so he doesn't get taken between the stop and the tow yard, right? So, and that's another way to kind of get in the vehicle as well. But yeah, just like to your point, no, if he didn't articulate a reason why he's trying to search your vehicle, no, you don't have to give consent. And it's also, note this, you can give consent, but you can also withdraw consent as well. So you can say, hey, yeah, you can search my vehicle. And if they're getting close to that glove box and you got something in it, you can, hey, I want you to stop. You have the right to withdraw your consent as well.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. I guess we're more technical here. Can you restrict the amount of search? Like, you can only search my trunk and nothing else? Or
Yeah. Because it's your right. You have the right to refuse, or you have the right to say, "Yeah, go ahead and search that," but I don't want you searching that.
Hold on, Rasheed, hold on.
That's in Georgia.
Rasheed.
Okay, it's in Georgia. Remember, y'all, Georgia.
Right.
Yeah. I was about to say. Remember, guys. Each state is different. He's talking from the perspective of Georgia. South Carolina might be a little different. Florida might be a little different. Texas might be a little different. You run them states and pull that if you want to. It might not happen.
Yeah.
Now, what about when people always say, well, it's my right to ask for a sergeant. It's my right to ask for your superior.
No, that's not a law. That's typically a policy. It might be policies or procedures for certain departments. I don't have to. You can ask for a supervisor. I don't have to call a supervisor, and I don't have to stop what I'm doing to wait for a supervisor to get there either. So I might say, you want a supervisor? I'll call him, but we're gonna continue what we're doing. And if I need to snatch you out of that vehicle, that's what's going to happen. The supervisor get there later on and see the aftermath. But there's not a law in Georgia that says you have the right to a supervisor.
I noticed he was screaming, I want to see a supervisor. And there's a lot of people in comments saying, well, why didn't they get him a supervisor? Why didn't he get him a supervisor? My comment was, why didn't he comply when he had the door open and they asked him to step out?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people say, why did he break the glass? Well, can y'all speak to that? Because in mine, you know, outside
you have the right to effect that arrest by all means. At that point, you know, you've already determined that he's under arrest. You've told him you're under arrest. Yeah, so you have the right to, you know, you can get the jaws of life and rip that whole door off if you have to effect that arrest. But you know, as far as you know, the supervisor situation, you know, nothing stops because you ask for a supervisor. That's that YouTube lawyer stuff. You know what I'm saying? I need a supervisor. Okay. What he was trying to do was prolong the stop to try to figure out how you're going to destroy evidence. How you're trying to figure out how you're going to get out of this. So you're prolonging it.
Right.
So you know, I'm not going to let you prolong it and produce no handgun. I'm not going to let you destroy evidence. I'm going to get you under control, and then the sergeant or lieutenant or whoever comes later can deal with that. But no, in our department and in most departments in Georgia, it's not a law. It's typically more likely a policy and some procedures.
Okay. Now, and I'm not trying to take over all the questions, but my mind just like, but
now go ahead, man.
At what point was he under arrest? Because a lot of people are like, wait a minute, y'all didn't put him under arrest. He wasn't arrested until he got on the ground and you guys put the handcuffs on. No, at what point was he under arrest?
When he told him he was under arrest. When he shut the door, he actually told him to step out of the vehicle. At that point, and then he shut the door, he said you're under arrest. At that point, he was under arrest. You know, you don't have to acquiesce for it to be, you know, acquiesce meaning you don't have to surrender. He told you you are under arrest. That is, at that point, you are under arrest. And you have a duty to comply and you know, go ahead and allow them to take you to custody. So when you start fighting, you start adding more charges, and subsequently can get yourself injured really badly.
Right.
Does it look like go ahead, Craig.
Yes,
no, I was saying, does it look like he put up a fight when he's being pulled out of the car? He got his hands up, and he's being pulled out, and they're saying comply, and they're putting his hands behind his back, but they're slamming him to the ground. They're doing what, you know, they're being a little more physical than what people would say. Oh, well, he surrendered. He put his hands out. Now, again, the surrender came late. As we know, the surrender came late, but his hands were here, and he's being pulled out, and his hands are visible. So you could take his hands, but they threw him to the ground.
Well, they had his hands. He didn't have his hands up by himself. They had control of his hands.
Right.
But you clearly hear him saying no. You clearly hear him saying no. And if he was going to surrender, he would have got on the ground immediately. It took him a few seconds to get him down to the ground. And you got to understand, look how much force. That kid wasn't that big, and look how those cops on him, that it took them that many people to get him to the ground. That clearly shows you how much he was resisting.
Somebody like me, I got bad legs. I step out, and they say get on the ground. It might take me a little bit to get on the ground. You understand what I'm saying? If y'all got my hand,
if they see you trying, typically if I see you trying, you're attempting to. But to be honest with you, by the time you shut the door and lock the door, and we got to go through all that busting your window to get you out. All bets are off at that point. You know what I'm saying?
It's all out the window then.
There you go. That's where it was.
Yeah, you all bets off at that point.
Because you got to think about this, Craig and Victor.
Go ahead.
Y'all got to think about this. Once y'all close that door on us, we don't know what's your plan.
Right.
Once you close that door on us, we don't know what you got in that car, what you plan on doing next. So everything's out the window at this point. I'm trying to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
That's what I wanted y'all to get to, the fact that you guys are trying to do a job and you're making my job difficult and dangerous.
Right.
You understand? So at this point, you're going to do what you have to do to make sure that you go home and to make sure that make sure he's under arrest because he didn't comply.
Right. And it looks bad.
That's what we want y'all to realize. Guys, just listen.
Right. Yeah. When people see that many officers on one person, they say, why are they all ganging up on them? That is honestly a tactic to get them safely in custody, because if it's just me trying to get you and you fight me, I'm probably gonna tear you. I'm gonna break something. Something gonna get hurt. I'm not getting hurt. So if you resist to me, you're gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a bunch of officers, one officer controlling each arm, each leg, your head, your torso. That's why so many officers. You talk to gang compliance in numbers, and you taking each member of his body and putting it down to the ground, and that's a safer way to get him in custody and less injury to him and to the officers. But again, if I got one person, it's just me, even maybe even 2 officers, and we're getting a person that cuts. When a person don't want to go, they get superhuman strength. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
It ain't just because they little. And women are the worst. You know what I'm saying? Little women are the worst. They'll fight you and lift you up off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people think, oh, it took all of y'all. It didn't take all of it. Yes. One of them probably could have done it, but they would probably have hurt him in doing it. And you're not trying to really hurt them unless deadly force is authorized. But you're not really trying to hurt them. You just be scared. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to face his issues. But it's our job to make you have to go to court and deal with your issues. And we ain't trying to hurt you to get you in custody. But like X says, I'm going home. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going home today. The same way I came into work.
Vic, we got any questions?
More like comments. When you're pulled over is not the time to be arguing over your ticket.
No.
If you're getting a ticket.
Right. And me personally, I'm a major. I don't do all that. I do some traffic enforcement just to do it sometimes. I'm not writing no tickets. I usually try to give you some information and some education why I'm stopping you. Hey, get this together. But guess what? You can get a ticket. I had a young lady the other day. She ran a stop sign right in front of me. I pulled her over. She was basically telling another vehicle. The one lady bought a new vehicle and had her kinfolk drive the other vehicle to the house. And she's arguing with me. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm not giving you a ticket, but I'm just letting you know I stopped you because you ran a stop sign right in front of me. And I'm wanting you to be safe. And she had an attitude like I had stolen her puppy. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk to the judge and let him know about that because I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just trying to, I'm the nicest person you want to meet on a traffic stop.
Yeah.
But but you can't talk yourself into some tickets. You know what I mean? That's for sure.
Yeah. Haven't I said that?
Yeah. And
Vic, we got any comments?
We don't have, well, we have one comment just saying that they made it. T says, yes, I made it. Yeah. So I guess we're going to get into the chat. But yeah, we was talking so much about how officers need to learn how to de-escalate. When you need to learn how to de-escalate.
Right.
I mean, when you're stepping out that car, you're already mopping off at them. Then you close the door. You open the door, then you close the door. I mean, if I'm the officer, I'm calling everybody. I'm calling all my officers from across the state. I'm calling in tanks, helicopters, the Marine Corps. Everybody's pulling up.
Yeah. I mean, and that's typically what's going to happen. Now, are you saying de-escalate on the officer's behalf? Is that what you were saying?
No, on his behalf, on the driver's behalf, in this case.
Yeah, but some people, we so emotional. This society is so emotional. And if you're born in, and I hate to say it, if you got some young listeners and some young viewers, but if you're born between 05 and now, you don't have that saying, you're just too emotional, and you allow anything to goat you into something. Everybody got guns and want to use.
Hey, Rasheed, I want you to
Go ahead.
Hey, Rasheed, I want you to elaborate to the people. I know the answer, but I want you to kind of elaborate to everyone about driver's license. When you get on the traffic, when you are pulled over, what's the requirement for driver's license? Because a lot of people think they don't have to give us a driver's license. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh no, yeah. If you're pulled over, even and X, I don't see you. Okay, there you go. If you're pulled over, even if you're walking, if they have a reason to stop you, if they're doing an investigative stop, a reason to stop you, you are required by law to produce your driver's license. Your driver's license don't belong to you. Your driver's license belongs to the state of Georgia. They need your license. That's their license, right? So you have to provide that information.
South Carolina, too.
Yeah, and you have to have a physical copy. A lot of people have it on their phones because they've lost them and things like that. But you can also get a ticket for that. You have to have it in your possession.
You will get a ticket.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, you got to have it in your physical presence. You have to have your license. So all that, I don't consent, and I'm not giving you my license. Right there, that's obstruction. That's a charge. You can go to jail just for that by itself.
So now, if I'm in a car, and I'm in the passenger seat or the back seat, and you guys make a stop, and you ask for the driver's license of the driver, and he provides it, you guys have the ability to come and ask for driver's license for every other person in that vehicle?
You can ask, but it's up to you to know your rights.
You can, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can ask. Now, only time that is mandatory is if you're sitting there without a seatbelt on. If the passenger don't have a seatbelt, then he can get his own ticket. So yeah, then at that point, it's mandatory that I get your license. But if I'm not investigating anything else, if it's just a traffic violation that the driver committed, you're not obligated to show me your identification. But you can't leave either. You're still being detained with that vehicle. You can't get out the car and leave because a lot of people think, well, I can just leave. I'm not part of this. No, you're part of it, but I don't have to identify you if I don't have anything else to suspect. Now, if we get a call or a bolo, be on the lookout for a black Honda with two black males with dreadlocks, both in all black, and we pull that over and both of you in the car, then at that point, I'm going to ask you for your identification because at that point, I'm investigating something. And you don't have the option to refuse me your identification based on that, because I've articulated why I'm stopping you. I'm articulating why I need your identification. But yeah, simply if it's just a traffic infraction that the driver committed, no, you don't have to supply any. In Georgia, you don't have to supply any ID unless, of course, you don't have your seatbelt on and something else going on with that.
Now, we know that this gentleman, he's already got a lawyer. I think he got the civil rights lawyer, correct? Am I saying?
Yeah, Crump.
His name.
Ambulance chaser.
Right. So,
Ambulance chaser.
Our brother Crump. Yes, sir.
yeah, so what? I mean, if the violation started out with the passenger, I mean the driver being in the wrong, then where can we go from there? That punch actually allows him to get a lawyer to sue because of that cheap shot.
Yeah, I mean he's trying to sue for the whole thing. He claimed that they didn't have reason to stop him. They didn't tell him why they stopped him. So he was alleged his civil rights were violated. He was being detained unlawfully. That was the first thing. I think that was the first assertion. So, but in my opinion, and I'm gonna say in my professional opinion as well, that initial punch was uncalled for to me. But again, I don't know what that officer saw inside that vehicle when he busted the window.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, but as far as what I could see, that first punch, I can't go for that. If that was my son, I'd be furious, and I would sue him. I would sue him civilly, and I would sue the department as well, because they need to be trained that guy. Because I'm telling you what it appeared to me. He was frustrated because the dude did him like that, so he got a chance to get him. He got him.
Okay, so what stops someone from seeing that and saying, "Hell, I want a payday too. I'm not going to comply that somebody does not get it." We know that sometimes they take it too far and you end up getting shot and killed because you're.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
Let me say this real quick, man, since we're on the subject of that. And again, my view is just my views on it. Had nothing to do with Highway Patrol, South Carolina Highway Patrol, just my views on it. But sometimes, these civil rights lawyers, first, all they see is white versus black. All they saw was a white man punching a black kid. I wonder if Crump actually looked at the whole video and saw that this kid, now granted what Rashid said, I agree. The punch was uncalled for. But everything was by the book. The kid didn't comply. He violated a traffic stop. He violated a traffic order. He got pulled over. He refused to show anything. License, refused to get a car. He closed the door and the officer had to ask him to step out. He was under arrest. Officer did what he had to do. The only thing he messed up with, he punched him. I wonder if Crump actually looked at the video. If he actually looked at the video instead of just seeing what everybody else saw on the social media, what we all saw in the beginning, the white officer punching the black guy and taking the case based off that. I'm like, man, come on. Sometimes we got to hold ourselves responsible. Black people, we got to hold ourselves responsible. It's times I pull people over and they tell me I pulled them over because they black. Dude, I don't know if you black, white, green, whatever. You committed a traffic violation. That's why I'm stopping. It's just simple, guys. We got to take responsibility. And I'm just tired of these ambulance chases and making stuff worse than trying to make all cops. There's some good white cops out there. Some good black cops out there. We all not the same. The guy actually committed a traffic violation, which caused that. Again, the punch was excessive. I don't agree with that. Like Rashid said, he's probably just pissed off, or we don't know what he saw in the car when he's trying to bust the window. He might saw a gun. I don't know. But I just wonder, Crump. I'm wondering if he actually saw the video.
Well, how a lot of folks think, any press is good press. He's in the business of getting high-profile cases. So if it's something that get him camera time, he's probably gonna take it, whether it's good or bad. Because a lot of the cases he take, he don't get nothing on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like throwing rice against the wall. Something's gonna stick, right? So, but to kind of piggyback on us taking responsibility, we have to stop, letting people rule us with fear. Parents out there, quit telling your kids when you see the police, I'm gonna get him on you, I'm gonna make him get you. Quit doing that. Some folks run. I had many incidences where we pull somebody over, the cat take off running. You catch him, he ain't got no warrants, he ain't got no suspended license. He's all perfect. I'm like, man, why'd you run? Oh, I was just scared. And you know what? He was. I believe you have flight or fright, right? But I'm tongue-tied. Flight or fight. That's your response. Your body's response to stressful situations. And some cats don't want to fight; they're just going to run. And he was really scared because guess what? His mama probably told him, "I'm gonna get the police on you" as a kid.
Right.
I've had kids when I walk up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" They just bust out crying or run behind their mama's
Right.
leg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we have to get to the point that we're not telling. First of all, we supposed to be God fearing, so we shouldn't fear no man. Period.
Right.
And you teach your kids that. Right. You fear God, and that's it. So don't teach your kids to be scared of no man, no uniform. Because the thing about all these folks be talking that mess about they hate the police, don't like the police. No, they can't stop calling us. Call us for everything. I posted on TikTok the other day. Lady called me about her husband not taking her to the movies, wanted me to talk to him about treating her better. And I said, "Damn, I can't. Shit, me and my wife got issues. How can I help you with your marriage?" You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the stuff we get. But you don't like the police, but you sure can't stop calling.
And again, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about the fact that what stops from someone who sees that video, you go to these guys, you provoke them basically by not complying, to provoke them into doing something to them to say, you know what, I'm gonna sue you now. You know, and I'm sure you guys have, and not to put it on you, but I'm sure at some point in your career, you've had people who tried you just so they can see if they can take you to that next level.
Yeah.
And you have to obviously, like Victor said, de-escalate, keep a calm head. But in the same time, you're having to look at this person to make sure they're not doing anything that's going to harm or hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And still be conscious enough to say, you know what? Hey, let me make sure we don't take this past this. And this person is being belligerent. They're trying you. I mean, at what point can you say, you know what? Enough is enough.
I mean, me personally.
Well, Craig, you got right. Now you have to be professional, man, at all times. You're right. You will have people that's going to try you. I mean, they're going to test you. And at the end of the day, man, they looking for a payday. They want what this young man just did. This is what they want. Yeah. And you got to take that into consideration. And things are not worth it. Your reputation, you know who you are as a man or woman, on wearing that blue uniform. That's all what matters, man. Is your reputation. You're honorable. So you know they're there. You know they're there to try to push you. You know that. You just got to stay professional. You got to stay calm and cool. Just laugh at it sometimes. That's what I do. I laugh at them. When they say certain things, I'm like, oh, yeah. In the back of my head, I'm like, really? In the back of my head, I'm like, keep talking because that camera rolling. And I hope your lawyers see this. And I hope we take this to jury so they can see this. The jury see how you're acting.
You have to. We are professionals, and they pay us. That's why you have to take a psych evaluation before you get hired on most departments, because you have to be. Right. You have to be able to take a certain level. Can we cuss? No, don't worry about it. You have to be able to take a certain level of crap. So, and that's why everybody can't be a police officer, right? So, my thing is, like X said, sometimes I just walk away. It's not worth it. I'll just walk away. You know, but sometimes you talk yourself into some handcuffs because you think you're being funny and if you want to try to get a black eye just to get a payday, I mean, some cops will oblige you. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if they have charges on you, if you've done talked yourself into a charge, because some people think they can walk up on you and start cussing at you and talking crazy to you in front of folks and think that's they what's that, First Amendment? That's the First Amendment. What's that? Freedom of speech. Yeah. So yes, you got freedom of speech, but no, you don't have freedom of speech to dog somebody out or to interfere with somebody else's peaceful life. You don't have that right. So when you start talking mess or fighting words, now you're giving yourself a charge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've had people try to bait me. They ride by flicking me off, and I laugh at it. But then they make that crucial mistake. They get out and get in my face and say something silly, and I got you now. You know what I'm saying? I got you now. Now you have to talk to the judge about why you wanted my attention, because now you got my full attention. You know. But as far as beating up on folks and all that crap,
Rashid,
I got a comment.
I had an older Caucasian gentleman one time. Had him for a DUI, take him to jail. Man, I was all kind of N-words the whole ride. 20-minute ride to the jail. I was N-word this, N-word that, and I'm laughing because I'm like, I got my in-car camera on, my body camera on, and I'm praying he take this to a jury trial. I'm praying he take this to a jury trial.
Yeah, I got a comment from P in the comments. Got text in the comments. He said we have to be more responsible and take responsibility.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right.
And just show you how the spirit of the police really is. I just did a quick Google search and I just asked Google, how many like traffic stops were there a year. So on average, about 20 million traffic stops nationwide. And then I asked how many like police shootings are there a year, and Google answered a little over 1,000. The worst case, what's the worst outcome you can get? But 20 million, 1,000.
So
it's like less than 1%.
I am glad you did that, because people don't look at the math. You can't fudge math. Math is what it is. That's universal. And
Right.
people, this fear that the media is pushing, this fourth branch of the government, the media is pushing this fear narrative for whatever reason they're doing it. That is the perfect example. 20 million traffic stops and about 1,000. So that's like, even what is that? That's less than 0.001%. Yeah. So math don't lie.
Yeah.
It don't, bro. It don't, man. We gotta, man. We as people. Go.
Taking responsibility, and that, again, that's on both sides. But it starts with, if you have a officer that gives you a command, and that command is to step out of the car or provide information, do what they ask. Again, they want to go home, and you want to go home.
There we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember.
At the end of the day, too, man.
Go ahead,
Craig.
No, I was saying I remember.
I say at the end of the day, man.
Go ahead.
We must be cutting off.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was saying at the end of the day, man, it's all about, man. Look, you can talk your way into a ticket. Sometimes I pull cars over, and my mind sometimes give them a warning. They talk their way into a ticket. But like this young man, Mr. McNeil, if you know you riding dirty, man, just comply, bro. Cause that actually could have ended up bad. That could actually end up bad.
Yeah.
You probably could have got his ass shot, especially if he closed that door. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going on. Perfect example, right? You remember the trooper I had on my show, 2 years ago? That's what happened to him. He got shot in the face. Dude closed the door on him, went up to the car, shot him in the face, man. Shot him in the face. So, guys, y'all got to realize we're human too. Just like you got a family, we got a family we want to get to at the end of the day. We all want to go home. We don't know what you got going on. So, hey, you close that door, as all systems go. You just use common sense, man. When an officer give you a directive, go ahead, Rashid.
Yeah, and also note, you don't know what we know. So we get constant updates on officer-involved shootings. Our training changes because of incidents like that. Like, at one point, you trained to do this. Back in the days, they used to, at the range, they used to blow a whistle for you to start shooting and blow a whistle for you to stop. Well, that's why they stopped doing that, because a guy was on a traffic stop. They were doing construction down the way. The construction officer blew a whistle. He pulled his gun out and started shooting because he was mentally trained for that. So our training evolves based on circumstance, and unfortunately, officers lose their lives, and we learn from that. So you don't know what we just saw, or you don't know what training we came out of, officer survival training. You don't know what we just saw an officer getting ambushed, or like you said, your officer got shot in the face because a dude shut the door and then shot him from behind the tinted window. Here in Georgia, in Gwinnett County, a young officer pulled a car over, and immediately upon him exiting his vehicle, they shot through the back window, shooting him and killing him. So you don't know what we just saw. So now we're on guard. We see you swing a door open real quick. We don't know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to say. You don't know what officer you're getting at that point. You just do not know. And to be safe, to this day, when I get pulled over, my hands on I turn all my dome lights on. I roll all my windows down. I put my hands on my steering wheel. And they walk up, and I say, hey, I'm armed. I'm a police officer. What do you want me to do next? Because they're in control of that stop at that point. It ain't nothing about no pride and puffing up my chest. Hey, I'm at your right. You in control of this stop. You tell me what you want me to do next. That's how we should do. Right. Because guess what? I'm going home. I made him feel more comfortable because I told him I got a gun in the car. I rolled all my windows down, so I'm not hiding anything. I don't appear to be hiding anything. His guard is down. He's now like, okay, what do you got going on? All right, and he's going to determine what he's going to do at that point. That's what we need to do as citizens. If you get stopped, man, listen. Put your hands on your steering wheel. Don't take your seatbelt off. Don't start rummaging around in your car looking for your license and stuff. Just sit still and let him tell you what he wants you to do next. Because that's another thing. We pulling up and we behind you, running your tag, and we see your head bobbing all over the place, and you might just be reaching for your registration, but we don't know that. So now we're on guard because we see you doing too much movement. And I've got on the radio many times. Radio, hey, just be advised, I got a lot of movement in the vehicle. because I don't know what
Right.
you're doing. And you might just be simply finding your stuff. You know, most times that's what it is. But just I tell people all the time, just wait till I get to you. Keep your seatbelt on, keep your door shut. If there's a situation with your window that don't roll down, when I walk up, you can yell it. Because I can hear inside the vehicle. You can just yell it, hey, my window doesn't roll down. Do you mind if I open the door? Things like that, common sense. Because it's common sense.
Right.
We all know. We all black. We know certain areas we don't go to. So certain areas we ain't going to the gas station at a certain time because we don't want the probability of us getting jacked up or carjacked or shot or robbed or whatever. So if we smart enough to stay out of certain areas, why not be smart enough to keep yourself out of certain situations?
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, that's true.
I mean,
I won't fill up at night.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And when I do put gas in my car, I'm going there interstate where, you know, a bunch of cameras, a bunch of people, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
That's sad. It's really sad.
I mean, I keep my car clean. I don't have a bunch of trash piled up in the car or nothing like that. Because I feel like if I get pulled over, I want to also be able to look in my car and see that there ain't nothing under nothing or over.
I don't know what you think. You ain't getting pulled over, bro.
Yeah, I tried the speed limit. So
well, let me ask y'all a question. Do you, just like you said, you don't fill up at night? Do you feel the same way if you go to a white influential area? Would you?
Nah, Rashid, come on, man.
I can't hear you.
No, you can't hear me?
I lost the sound. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I lost sound for some reason. Hold on, let me make sure it's not on my end because it could be on my end. Let me turn his headpiece off and maybe it's
his mic on.
Yeah, your mic's on.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Give him a second.
Yeah.
Give him a second.
I can't hear you guys. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't know what that's about.
We can see you too. We can see you too.
Okay, I can hear you now. There you go.
Okay.
Right.
So, do you feel the same way in those areas?
All right.
No. I fill up at the corner store in the white area.
You see that, and that's my point. You get a lot of people that say our neighborhoods are over policed and they always mess with us, but the sad fact is you don't go to white areas and see people standing out front of the grocery store or the gas station trapping. You don't see that because they ain't going for that. But when we try to, we have people like I was working a part-time job at a Walgreens, and across from Walgreens is a gas station, and I'm watching them trap. I'm watching where he's stashing his stuff, and I'm just laughing to myself. And I got people, they see that I'm a police officer, they come over to me and say, hey, I just want to get some gas. Is there anything you can do to help me? And it's sad that people live in those neighborhoods and that's their gas station, but because little shawty in them, little shawty in them decide they're gonna make that the trap house, it's unsafe for people to get gas, to get snacks, or whatever, whatever the case may be. So now we over police and they get mad. Well, y'all always messing with us. Like, you don't go nowhere else and you see that. You don't go nowhere else and see that type of situation. So we have to be responsible for that.
Right.
We get, unfortunately, and X, you can attest to this. When you on that radio, and one day I made a choice to listen to this radio, and without being judgmental, I just wanted to listen how many descriptions come out and what the description is. And it's always 9 times out of 10 in DeKalb County, it ain't all black. It's a lot of white folks in DeKalb County too. But on this radio, unfortunately, all I hear is suspect black male, suspect black female, suspect black male, dreadlocks, suspect black male, dreadlocks, and all black wearing a mask. They're wearing these poo shiesties. That's all I hear. And I thought to myself, wow, all these people that talk that mess need to go ride with a cop and listen to the radio, look at the can and look at the description. We ain't making it up. These are civilians calling these descriptions into us. You know what I'm saying? So they make like the police out here making up stuff. Hey, I'm looking for a black male today. You fit the description. Well, you kind of do because you don't want to be a standout. You want to look like everybody else. So you probably do fit the description. You know what I'm saying?
No, like we talk about areas, we ain't trying to judge, but I remember when I first moved to this area, my sister.
I lost sound again, so I don't. What's going on? That's fine.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, it's not Rashid.
Can you hear us?
It keeps blanking. Y'all up now?
Yeah.
We here.
Hold on.
He might have to go out and come back in, but like I was saying, I went to a gas station with my sister and she wanted to cash these lottery tickets, so she asked me to cash it. So I'm looking around, we observing. You have to be. So I'm in the store and all black.
Right.
She got black standing up outside, and I'm like, what the hell Vivian put me into? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say her name. What my sister put me into? So I'm at the cash, right? This guy behind me, yeah, you hit that 3, 2, 1, right? And the other people coming around me. So I put my prison face on. And so I go to the thing, I cash the thing. The girl said she can cash. So I'm walking out. My sister, she pumping gas. I said, stop pumping gas. We getting the hell up out. We shouldn't have to do that. But you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
And ask me if I ever put gas in my car. And that station isn't even 2 minutes from my house. I won't put gas in my car at that station.
See?
I don't blame you.
It's a shame.
It's
sad, man. It's sad, but so final thoughts, man. Rashid, what you want to tell the people, just the do's and don'ts when it comes to law enforcement? First of all, you guys are going to learn this stuff when you watch the Black Shield podcast coming this fall on the I Am Beast Network. But Rashid, just give them a little taste of what the people need to know, the do's and don'ts in law enforcement.
Man, just like you won't walk up to the corner store and you see a young man stand out there in all black, just like you won't walk up talking crazy to him. Don't walk up talking crazy to no cop. You know what I'm saying? Use your common sense, because you don't know who you're getting that day. Just comply. If you're wrong, and you're wrong, just deal with it. You only got a warrant. Hey, take that charge, go to jail, handle your warrant, and get out. Most times, depending on the warrant, you'll be out that day or the next day. But you start tacking on charges, that's something you got to deal with for it could be years. So just fight your battles in court. If they're wrong, and I've been put over on some wrong stuff, I ain't arguing with that man. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna get that name, and then I'm gonna call. Once I leave, I'll call the police department to find out. Hey, you had a traffic stop on this street at this time. I need to know who that officer is, and I'm gonna get what's the open records request. Most places, and that's a good thing to remember. Most places allow you to get an open records request. You can get that request from most police stations, and that'll give you any information that you want in regards to a stop, to any kind of police citizen encounter. Get that information and then take it to your attorney and deal with it that way. And don't deal with it on the side of the road, because you're not going to win. Even if the cop is wrong, I'm not going to jeopardize me getting beat all up and hurt or possibly killed to prove a point. If you want to get punched in the face to make some money, you should go to MMA or something.
You're illegal.
Hey, for me, man, just to regurgitate off what Rashid said, man, basically just comply, man, whether you're right or wrong, especially if you're wrong, but definitely if you're right, man, because you can't fight it on the side of the road. You're not going to win it. Fight it in court. Court is the only place you can fight the police. Fight it in court. Don't go out there talking back. Don't go out there trying to fight. Don't go out there trying to do whatever, because you're not going to win at the end of the day. And sometimes, man, officer probably just pulling you over, plan on just educating you what you did and give you a warning. That's it. So just comply, guys. Just comply. And it seemed like our people, I ain't going to say our people too, because I got some other ones too that want to act up. They know it all. They want to fight it right there on the side of the road. And it's not going to work. It's not. I'm not arguing with you on the side of the road. I'm going to give you your court date and the date and the address and say, meet me at that time. We can talk about it right then. Right. I'm not doing it on the side of the road. Right. So just comply, guys. It's just that easy. My thing is this. I always say this. If you can follow the rules at your job, why you can't follow the law? If you can go by what your boss man telling you, you want to keep that job, right? You want to make that money, right? The law is the same thing. You want to stay out of jail? Just comply with the law. It's that damn easy. It ain't hard, guys. This is simple. It's elementary.
Yeah.
It ain't
nothing. It ain't nothing. And it's not real quick. I'm sorry. It's nothing new. People think that black police officers became black police officers because they were originally slave catchers. No, police have been around for hundreds of thousands of years. And most indigenous, tribes in Africa, they had law enforcement, and might be named something else, but they were law enforcement. They were tribal enforcement. They've always had it. There's always rules and regulations in every society for the millions of years we've been here. So why now is it different? Why now you feel like that's anarchy? I can do what I want to do. You can never do just what you want to do.
Right.
I'll say this. We as black men, we always say we want to teach our child to not fight the police, but comply. Just do everything that they ask you to do. We all know this. We always say it. Let's tell our child to do be the example. If they can follow your example, meaning when you are stopped, you do exactly what you're telling your child to do. Comply. Do everything that they ask you to do. We get out here and we want to puff our chests up and act like we're above the law, or hey, you guys are just in suits. You guys working for the white man. You guys, hey, if you're telling your child to comply, be the example.
Right.
Exactly what you're asking your child to do.
Right.
And I'll say, I heard from former police, I'll say, put it this way: comply and complain.
Right.
That moment is not the time for you to be listen, comply and complain. Because I'm not selling the show. That officer wants to go home alive as much as you do.
Right.
So since we both know that, let's go ahead and negotiate this in a way so that happens.
Right. Well, Rashid, brother, Black Shield Podcast, baby. I can't wait till it come out. Absolutely. Hey, bro, I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. You be safe out there, okay?
Hey, y'all too, man. Love you guys, man. Y'all keep on doing what you're doing, man. Pleasure meeting you all. Y'all take care, brother.
Indeed.
Love you too, big dog. Hey, man, I see you on season 2, baby.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Be safe, bro.
All right, now. Peace.
All right. Hey, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Until then, see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.